Ooga fucking Ooga cunts. Welcome to Conflicting Opinions, a new show that I'm going to be doing with Losar here. Losar, I don't think our audience has ever seen you before. Introduce yourself.
How's everyone doing? This is Losar one. Just starting out, seeing what everybody's opinion is. People aren't probably gonna like me too much. I'm the black guy with liberal views that hates white people.
Oh shit! You actually hate white
Satsu, how you doing?
But just hearing learning what I learn and say what I say.
There we are, and then we got Jimmy, and for those of you who didn't know, Wrath is back. Wrath, say hi to everyone. Show them all the weight you gained. I just noticed that.
Y'all. The camera adds 10 pounds. The cheaper it is, the more times you get to multiply that number. So the cheap ass Dell laptop, man.
Yeah,
well, I've gotten really fat. You know, I've been away because I tried to eat my cellmate. That was awkward.
Yeah, you gotta stop eating people, Wrath.
If y'all didn't taste so good, it'd be a lot easier. Okay.
That's really disturbing knowing that you've actually eaten people.
I'm on the patch now, though, so like I feel like it's gonna like come back under control again. Like so I don't know if you guys know this, but you know how they use methadone for the tweakers, right? They actually use bacon for cannibals. Who knew?
Yeah, a tasty way to get rid of the shakes, I guess.
Yep.
I suppose so.
So anyway, I guess to start off, let's get some of the general thoughts on Christchurch. Why don't we start with the skinhead? You're the only skinhead I see, Wrath.
Okay, so personal opinion. I really my biggest frustration, besides the fact that they immediately made it a race issue when it was an ideology targeted, is the fact that, in my opinion, generally speaking, the media and most of your more influential people on social media are pretty much doing exactly what he said in his manifesto he wanted them to do.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like he laid it out for them and they just went, okay, yeah, good idea.
Terrorist. Yeah, like he wrote their headlines for them, basically. They were dumb enough to go with it.
It's just a list of buzzwords. It's like, let's see if it works. And it did.
Like, seriously, what did he do? Did he pull up Twitter and just, like, read off half the trending and make sentences out of the rest of it?
Sounds that way.
I mean, he did the same thing a lot of shooters do. Like, did anybody remember the Baton Rouge shooting? That one guy that shot, like, 3 cops. He had a whole bunch of YouTube videos. He called himself Cosmo, I believe.
Oh, yeah. The one that the hard right called the BLM shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a mellow of a house.
Like, if you ever sat back and actually watched his videos, which is funny because we're not allowed to read this man's manifesto or even watch. I don't even watch the video, but like all that stuff's been deleted. But that Cosmos guy, his videos are all over the place. You can still see his stuff. And he kind of said something pretty much similar, as in, like, I'm not doing this for anybody but myself. I want to start pretty much a war. And it's just every time there's a shooting, like 70% of them are just people that just want to start a war.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, they're kind of like the more extreme members of the Charlottesville alt-right gathering, but with guns and testicles. like that's literally most of the mass shooters in the last decade are literally just trying to make things worse for everyone they can't get a bullet into.
Well, did anybody see the? I guess they just posted a video from a security cam, and after he shot the first one and on his way to the second one, there were some people walking, and he knocked on his window. And when the people stopped to look at the car window, he started shooting, but he didn't roll the window down.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
yeah, I just saw that like a second ago, right before the thing started. So he was just trying to kill people and finding excuses to try to get people to kill each other.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. These people, first off, they're fucking nuts. But the mentality here, a lot of people seem to think it's along the same line as Islamic terrorism. Terrorism generally has a purpose to it. It's to make somebody do something, to cause fear, to force them into either bowing to your demands or whatever it may be.
Right.
Somebody like this is a lot more along the lines of the Joker. If you read this guy's manifesto, he comes across just like the fucking Joker. It's anarchy that they want. That's the end goal. That's it. That's like there might be revenge mixed in there, something like that. But the end goal isn't a goal. It's just make shit fucked. Fuck shit up.
Right. I mean, he's basically imagine like V for Vendetta, but he doesn't have like any kind of humanistic goals. Like imagine all of these actions with none of his public speeches.
Well, no, he definitely has a goal. He definitely has a goal. I wouldn't go as far as to say he didn't do this for no reason. He wants to create enough dissent to remove certain people from certain areas. He said he was radicalized from coming back from France, and France was the hotbed of a bunch of cultures mixing together, and he's probably like he definitely wants to end that. But other than that, yeah, he just wanted to commit violence.
Right. I mean, I've only read synopsis of the manifesto. I haven't read it in its entirety. Schmeckle, you read it, right?
I've got it saved. I've only read about half of it.
Hey, shoot that over to me on Twitter if it'll let you without getting you banned again.
I wouldn't use Twitter.
I'll probably have to email it to you.
Yeah, I'll DM you my email and you can just email it over. Although I do use Gmail, and you know how Google is.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll be fine by email. Twitter, I'm thinking that'd be a pretty quick ban.
Yeah, I was gonna say how many bans would that make for you? I mean, like you might be able to compare notes with Sargon at some point.
I've only had the one full ban. Everything else has been temporary.
Oh yeah, you've had how many suspensions though?
I wonder if you just. I have to wonder if you just sort of on this stream go, okay, Twitter, Jack, this is news. I'm doing this for news. I'm sending it to my friend here for news. Only that.
Jack doesn't watch this stream. That ain't gonna help shit.
Wow,
the guy who owns Twitter ain't sitting down watching the fucking SnatchCast right now.
True enough.
Hey, you know what? Dream big. Actually, no, don't. I really don't want his feedback, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't block him, but I would never ask for his feedback, okay?
Hey, he'd be free to send his feedback through Streamlabs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. You know what, Jack? Feel free. There's a $5 fee for being a dick weasel per word if you want to send us feedback. So, yeah.
Fuck that. Dude's a multi-millionaire. Add a couple zeros there, buddy.
No. I was gonna say minimum billing is 500,000 words. I feel like we can live with that. That's our minimum billing for dick weasels. Yeah, that's right, Jack. You're a dick weasel. What you gonna do?
I mean,
look, my Twitter's gone.
Out of all of them, at least Jack was willing to sit and talk to somebody.
I mean, I got to give him and that lady props for at least having the stones to have that sit down with Joe.
I mean, like I full on admit I kind of expected one of them to just kind of go off on Tim, and they just kind of sat back and let him say what he said and gave their the best opinions they could on it that still let her keep her job.
I think
Yeah.
part of the reason for that, Tim Pool made a video because he was obviously on that thing, and he speculated the reason why he's been on so many of these because he was on a couple of news stream, Jack there, and he was also on like what the fuck was that guy from one of the Four Horsemen? Anyway, he's been on a couple different streams and talking about this and answering questions, and Tim thinks that it's probably because Twitter is actually not doing so well. They're losing subscribers. They're losing users. They're not. People are just jumping off the platform and going to other platforms. And I actually heard that there's a new social media thing out there called Mammoth. It's essentially just like Twitter, but no censorship. And so here they're growing up in popularity.
It always starts with censorship, though, and then they realize that they need some censorship.
Right.
Well, yeah, and
Always
it's
the way.
it's always a level. Like each person will always say like, "Oh man, free speech," except, and then Twitter tries to do it. Like MySpace ended up having to do that.
Well,
Like when they started using unauthorized music, they had to start negotiating with songwriters and stuff, and that's part of the reason why they ended up having to. Like if you go to MySpace now, it's nothing but advertisements all over the place.
yeah.
Well, a lot of that's probably because nobody uses MySpace anymore. They need every dollar that they can get. But it's something that happens when you're running a business. You need to run that line of, okay, yeah, free speech. Also make sure shit is 100% on the up and up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at Gab. Free speech, that was their main thing. Big controversy when they started banning lolly porn. Drawings of underage kids.
Yep.
Underage kids, redundant. But there was big controversy over that. Yeah, probably something that needed to fucking go. Not 100% free speech. So then you got the divide there. And there's always going to be that divide somewhere.
Well, I think Tim made the distinction. Maybe just have it in line with the American law. Say whatever you want, but just don't, advocate violence and all that. Music and stuff is debatable.
I would love to see if they actually followed that. As far as like the American law suggestion, I really do think that I don't really see Dorsey as necessarily a bad guy so much as a busy guy that gets blamed for his employees a lot.
Well, if anybody remember how this started, this all started when there was a demand for them to take down ISIS sympathizers. And so there was a huge backlash against people that were sympathizing with ISIS, and it kind of expanded out to people who were posting radical Islam. And from there, everybody else started appearing and going, well, what about this? What about white supremacy? What about black supremacy? What about all these different groups started popping up? And I mean, they pretty much all had an argument that Twitter couldn't challenge, because if you have to get rid of one, and that's radical Islam ideology, you're going to have to start whittling down who else is that bad.
It becomes a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and there again, I mean, maybe the freedom of speech should be the defining factor. Keep it in line with like I said, like with the American law system. Unless you're advocating for violence, say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, see, personally, I don't see why that would be a problem. The American legal system has, I would assume, most things that should be banned, right? You can't incite violence. You can't, I don't know, be hitting on kids, shit like that, right?
Well, yeah, but they also have libel laws and slander.
No, libel and slander, those are kind of important laws, right?
No, I'm not saying they're not important.
Are,
I'm saying where.
But it's hard to draw that line in online space without basically carte blanche banning anonymity online.
Mm-hmm.
So like if we were to go to an American law structure, we would all have to dox ourselves in order for that system to work.
Okay.
And I also think that with the sue happy culture of the United States, I honestly don't necessarily think the American law structure is loose enough in regulation for the internet.
Well, the good thing about that is that suing people is expensive, and only people with money can really do it, and not everyone out there has money.
No,
the
class
real
action.
problem is that's actually more of a problem than it is a solution, because that just means Amy Schumer can just go and start hammering people into the freaking ground, left, right, and center.
Oh, she'll go bankrupt before then because there's so many people who hate her. She can't sue them all. Maybe top people who can defend themselves.
No, but like she can hire a lawyer that can just like single filing get those dismissed.
Well, and it's not really Amy Schumer you should worry about. What would happen is a bunch of lawyers would use, I don't know, maybe one of your neighbors and use a situation they have to build a class action lawsuit, put a bunch of names on it, but they're all represented with one guy, and then that's where the money comes from. That's how a lot of
yeah, like people could try to make a class action against, say, Tommy Robinson, Sargon, like any of the big names that that people claim emotionally damaged them. Like, I mean, Tim Pool would be sued out of existence in a matter of hours if you were to incorporate the American legal system structure into something like Twitter.
Well, I don't think that they would necessarily do that. I mean, when I say like legal system, I mean like the rights and stuff. Like you have the right to, be hateful if you want to. I mean that the freedom of speech is actually meant to protect hate speech, because popular speech doesn't need protection because it's popular.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's the same reason controversial humor is the best kind of comedy, because we don't need to laugh about things we're already happy about.
Exactly.
Well, yes,
as the late George Carlin said.
But I mean, if you look at it, if you look at how Twitter's looking at speech, they're trying to find what sells. And to be honest, if you look at Gab, when Gab first started, if you were not part of that section of the community where you just felt racial jokes were funny, or any other jokes that assaulted any other group of people was just funny, if you looked at that home screen, you were like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. This is Stormfront 2.0.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, in regards to Gab, I'm not sure why they were taken off of, let's say, like the Apple Store, because you can't get the Gab app anymore. You said it was like lolly porn or that kind of stuff, child porn.
No. They there was a controversy amongst their users when they banned lolly porn. As far as them being taken off of the Apple Store, I think it had more to do with their user base.
It was the other shooting, the synagogue shooter. He put most of his stuff on Gab.
Oh, that's right. And so that was Apple's stand against it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So in the case of Gab, I'm sure that they already took action, took the guy off. Doesn't matter. They're still not back on the Apple Store. Echo that with, let's say, Tumblr. Have you guys heard about what happened with Tumblr?
No.
Oh, yeah, the porn thing.
Yeah.
So there was a similar thing with them in that there were users who were posting pictures of underage girls. And as a result, Apple took them off the App Store. All right, that made sense. So, of course, Tumblr had to do something about that. And they went the whole nuclear thing and said, no porn whatsoever.
Oh, that's why they did that.
That's why they did that, yeah. So, okay, so then no porn. It's all done. It's all over with. They nuked the whole porn thing. And, hell, even I got notifications for the stuff that wasn't even porn related. I don't post porn on Tumblr. But they did that, and they're back on the Apple Store, but their user base has plummeted as a result of that. They went the nuclear option when it came to censorship. And Twitter is just sort of casually doing it with their algorithms and enforcements, but they're still losing user base. It's not helping them in the long run.
Well, and it's also a catch-22 because they're also trying to get money from other countries, and other countries don't see freedom of speech the same way the United States does, and they're
Yeah.
more than willing to take Twitter off their internet sites and everything else. So it's a this is why I kind of don't as much as it does annoy me when Twitter does ban a lot of different people and stuff. I'd hate to be in that catch-22.
Oh no, it is difficult having to appease multiple different countries with different sets of laws, different sets of values, and all that. I'd have to assume most of their money would come from the first world, and most of that money from the more populous, more economically successful countries, right? Most of their user base is probably in the US, Russia.
User base, maybe, but I'm gonna argue that probably their income is Saudi Arabia, a lot of China, a lot of Qatar, UAE.
Is Twitter available in China? I didn't think it was.
Yeah, actually,
is it like
I don't actually think it is.
I don't know, mate. Do they have like Chinese Facebook style Twitter, like redacted Twitter, basically?
They
Pretty
do have
much.
something like that. Can't remember what it's called though.
They might, and if Facebook is willing to do that for the Chinese, why not do that across the board? American Facebook or basic Western values Facebook, specialized ones for the ones that have.
Hey, there already is Western values Facebook.
Laws.
It's called FarmersOnly.com.
And they probably already do. And even if they don't have Twitter accessible to the people of China, there's no doubt that they're probably receiving money from some Chinese source.
No, without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, Chinese businesses, there's probably several of their businesses that have like official Twitter pages
and advertisements, stuff like that.
For sure,
without a doubt. But I'd still tend to say most of their money is probably coming from the West. Most of your consumer base is Western. Most of the advertisements you're going to carry are going to be catered to Western customers, right?
Right.
And that's going to be where the bulk of their money comes from. That and selling information, which again is going to be from your largest user base.
I'd be willing to bet the majority of their revenue is non-competing tech like Intel, Apple. Like basically anyone who's not directly competing with Twitter is probably the majority of their income. Like that market to Western consumers.
I'm on this Wikipedia page. It's called Censorship of Twitter. And it says here that Twitter is currently blocked in North Korea, China, Iran, and I can't quite pronounce this,
Turkmenistan.
Thank you. Dyslexic trying to read foreign words. It's terrible.
No, so you're saying all the countries I was considering for a vacation, I'm not going to be able to get onto Twitter.
What would you look forward to in North Korea?
What wouldn't I look forward to in North Korea?
You could still go to Somalia.
In North Korea, I'm like 7 feet tall.
Hey, look, I have food. Come date me.
What? Food? They're like, whoa. It's like, shit. That's all you need to say.
Man, you come in with a whole box full of chicken soup, and that's what you do to bribe the cops. Just let you buy.
No, dude. All you gotta do to get yourself a North Korean wife, quality soy sauce. That's all you need. She'd never eaten nothing but rice in her whole life. You got like some actual quality soy sauce or like real curry, and she'll drop her panties so fast you won't even know she's got a dick.
Oh, just some Thin Mints, the bolt cutter for the fence. There you go, right there. Just don't say anything. Stay at night. Shut up. I'm black, so they're probably not gonna see me too much at night. I gotta cover her face, bro.
Oh, you're gonna have to get contacts, my dude. Those glasses are gonna rat you out. Like the 2 spotlights in the entire city, all it takes is one of them to reflect. You're done.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, there's nowhere to go but south. So
Natural born ninja, the black man.
Yeah, I mean, just be careful of DMZ. I mean, it's a good time. That place is really the bomb, but just be careful.
that's what I'm saying. Bring bolt cutters and test. Throw like a small rat or something at the fence just to see if it's live.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say just bring Opal, but I guess it's not really cool to make electric fence jokes about Mexicans. Someone told me that was bad.
It's insensitive, man.
Dude, I'm a freaking moderator on on a page on Facebook called The Insensitive Assholes. What are you talking about?
Oh god.
It's like the one place that doesn't have any moderation whatsoever. We're just like, okay, unless you're posting like kitty porn, you can post whatever you want. That's like our only line. Our only line is no any of that stuff. Like anything but pedo shit, we don't care.
Oh my god. That regardless though, that account might just get deleted off of Facebook. They're fucking terrible on there.
Dude, it's a private group and I love it. There's so many people there. It's like,
God.
and I swear half of them are from Utah. So we have like literally the majority of the non-Mormons in Utah in that group.
I had to shut up when it came to Facebook because apparently it fucking warped everyone on there. So they're all a bunch of leftists. I can't even remotely have a centrist view on Facebook. Everyone will fucking dogpile me. I've learned that. Yeah.
That's because you're Canadian. You're probably friends with Canadians on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I saw all this, and I'm just gonna stop using Facebook. I'll check it every now and then, but fuck.
Dude, I have too many war buddies on Facebook, man. I can't get rid of it. Like most of us change numbers on a pretty regular.
You're a fucking veteran. You don't have the poster behind you.
Oh, that's right. Actually, I do. He just we updated his skin tone to match mine, so now it's just all white.
So getting back to the Christchurch shit, how much should we blame PewDiePie?
Oh, a lot.
Is there a way to blame someone a negative percentage? Because that's kind of the angle I'm feeling.
They like take blame away from him or something. Like he gets to blame you a little bit. Like, I'm not sure how you do that.
Go ahead. I'm very pro gun ownership, legally speaking. So yeah, I mean, depending on who you ask, I'm partially to blame, and so I guess I'll take 5% of the blame that Felix didn't deserve to have.
There you go. Yeah, the 5%. If he gets like 45 more, he's good to go.
I think
that math was way off. Jesus Christ.
I'll say you're not even drunk. It's too early.
I'm tired.
dude, I'm so sleep deprived. It's bad.
Oh man.
No, out of the three, I would say definitely PewDiePie is the least to blame. It would probably be like PewDiePie the least, Candace Owens a little more, then Donald Trump all the blame, everything.
Yeah, so I think Donald Trump gets like
97%.
1,488%.
You know, I almost want to say this guy was the most epic of epic trolls because he fucking trolled his way into the news. That he just had to shoot a couple of guys. Go figure.
Well, I mean, I really think the Joker comparison's actually pretty solid because I mean, look what he's done to the current discourse with a couple of bullets, to quote the Joker.
True.
I don't know.
He didn't even have the gasoline, man. He didn't have the gasoline. Like, he's efficient.
He's not even the Joker, though. He's like one of those later model Batman villains that came after the Joker because we were already here. We were already.
It's true, man. Where's Bane at? Where's Bane? Come on.
Not even Bane.
Oh no!
He's
I
like
got it.
Joker's daughter or something.
No.
Yeah,
I got it. I know what's up.
One of the ones when it was no longer.
Trump
He's like the Joker.
Bane.
He's one of the Jokers.
He's just fat. Trump is Bane. He's just fat.
This motherfucker found Timothy McVeigh's face washed up in a river somewhere and sewed it onto his.
Yeah, he's
fucking McVeigh's daughter.
Like, does anybody remember Batman Beyond? He's like one of the Jokers.
Oh, Oh, like the not the permanent smile gas guy, but the one after.
Yeah. Where it's like
Yeah.
we were already here. Like we already had enough situations to where, I mean, it's crazy
Oh,
trying to
wait a
talk
minute,
to
wait a minute.
people
No,
on
dude,
different
I
sides.
got it. Kick-Ass 2. He's the motherfucker with less money.
Motherfucker.
No, I get where Losar's going with it though. You know, he didn't really set off this situation. He exasperated something that was already there, something that's been there for a long ass time at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a point, man.
Like, you
You're
remember that?
definitely
Like,
on that.
remember that West Texas explosion? It was like after the explosion, he came by and just threw a grenade on top of it. Like it was already burning. Especially on Twitter, like give anything remotely moderate to either side, and it's crazy how quickly they were ready to fight. Um, I didn't know I was a communist until I wrote 2 or 3 things on Twitter that I'm automatically communist. It's crazy.
Oh, and
That's all right.
apparently,
I found out the other day that I'm a far left extremist.
oh, dude, you want blew my freaking mind? Apparently, I'm like an Antifa leader now. Like, had no idea, no clue, because I said, you know what, maybe we shouldn't just let civilians have automatic weapons. I now I'm like the leader of Antifa, even though like I don't know, I own several guns. I go to the shooting range all the time. I want to own more guns, but no, I'm the leader of Antifa because I was like, you know what civilian needs an automatic weapon?
Yeah, I can see the logic behind civilians not having.
Right. Like, I mean, I just need to steal a bike lock from somebody, and I would just get a sock, and I'm gonna run around. I'm gonna run around, and I'm gonna smack all my friends.
No, this was a few years back. This was when right after remember the Tamir Rice shooting, the one in Cleveland, the little boy
That
about
was a fake gun, little kid.
Yeah,
like
yeah. The what was it? Airsoft gun or like a BB gun?
yeah. Well, I lived a couple of cities away from there. Like I knew their family, so not really close, but I knew of them, and so I wrote down like my thoughts and everything, and I was like, if I jokingly said like, I mean, he pulled up. There's not even a road there. Like where he pulled up, he literally, I don't know even know how he got on the curb. He hopped the curb and then drove up to the side and hopped out and started shooting. And that was just me kind of being like, man, he just hopped out like Rambo. And just a second later, it was like, oh, your Black Lives Matter, or not even your Black Lives Matter. You hate whites and you want to kill cops. I'm like, whoa, hey, you know, like so we were already kind of here. Now he might have been the last bottle of gasoline that makes it the worst ever, that makes it completely unfixable, but we were already this close to it.
Well, that's one of the big things too. Is it doesn't matter who was the first. It doesn't matter who caused the situation. It matters who brings it to the fucking boiling point, right? Who brings it to that fever pitch. And then this guy, like you were mentioning before, much like the Dallas guy, that's what he wanted. He wanted that hostility. He wanted to bring it to that pinnacle, and people are giving it to him. This I can't see this being the final straw. I can't see this being like the straw that broke the camel's back. I can definitely see it being pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't think that we're on the precipice of war in the traditional sense, because the thing is, the sides, as it were, are so intermixed that I think what's going to happen is literally we're gonna see first world countries collapse under the unrest is what's really going to happen. I don't think it's going to be war. I think it's going to be the fall of Rome.
Well, I mean, even the fall of Rome had barbarians at the gates. I don't see it as much as a fall of Rome, but I do see it as us becoming a lot less productive in the sense of like once automation kicks in, because it's going to happen. There's going to be millions out of work. Those millions are going to blame the other millions that are out of work. And just nothing's going to get done. We're going to get to a point to where either there's going to be an answer that makes life easier for everybody else once automation kicks in and we just become comfortable in the life we are, which actually is the one thing I actually would hope would happen, or the blame game becomes so severe, we just slowly move towards maybe not the destruction of our nation, but definitely a split into multiple tiny little countries all over the place, just steadily angry at each other, but everybody's holding a nuke, so no one wants to do anything, you know?
Yeah, you're going to get to the point where maybe a civil war doesn't happen, but some, I forget the word, some secessions happen. You end up fractured states again rather than United States. Then, you know, you guys have way too many enemies for that to be a good route for you guys.
Yeah, it's a bit of a destruction.
You guys have pissed off enough of the world. You guys need to be united.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you take most of those states and they're fucked on their own.
And I mean, a couple of things are going to happen. Like eventually, every nation is going to start having to own up to its decisions. Its decisions that it's made against its own people and its decisions it's made against other people. And either that's going to happen and then we can actually start having a really productive conversation about how to fix a lot of the problems that we've been covering up or exasperating or making worse. Or we'll just get to a point to where everybody just starts, like I said, 1,000 countries all holding nukes, just pointing them at each other.
Oh yeah, the old end of the world clip from the old Flash clip from what, like 06? Something like that. Super old school. I hate to say it, but like just like Idiocracy was a grim warning, would anyone like really and seriously be shocked if that's how humanity ended?
Is Idiocracy worse than what we have now?
Yes, because our literacy rates are still higher, but we'll see how long that lasts.
I don't know. Look at Idiocracy on a social level after the guys helped them with the water issue, because you know that's the one obvious downside. Everybody is able to live and support themselves with jobs that are perhaps not suited to them, but supplied and freely available. You have some new guy defrosted, immediately gets a job. As soon as they figure out that this guy is smarter than everybody else, they make sure he is very, very important. They know that the intelligent people should be the ones at the top. They have a black president, nobody bats a fucking eye. Free sex, like not free sex, but people are free about their sexuality to the point that there's a butt fuckers on every corner. It's not a bad world to live.
So what you're saying is Idiocracy is like Amsterdam in 20 years, and the rest of the world's already worse off than Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Not
a bad future.
I hate to say it, that's pretty depressing.
I don't see the
like I'm probably gonna go do some karaoke later, and I don't want to be all sad and stuff, man. You're bringing me down.
let's have some happy songs. Yeah, while I'm all depressed about the outcome of the world.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do "End of the World" by REM. That's a happy song.
I don't foresee the idiocracy route actually happening. I don't think it's going to happen. I do think that there might be some kind of a revolution of sorts happening, just because the people are so politicized right now. It's ridiculous and unnecessary. Because I mean, I miss the good old days when people were a little bit more centrist. You can lean one way or the other depending on which politician or whatever else is suits your fancy. That's the way it should be. But people are so fucking almost militarized about their political views nowadays. It's terrible.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Losar and I were arguing with someone the other day about whether or not Islam is a right-wing ideology.
Oh, yeah. That was Sinatra.
No, I think you were arguing with Sinatra. I came in a little later. I was arguing with.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that Sinatra tries to do kind of like a devil's advocate thing, but I feel like he loses the plot sometimes.
Well, see, I never take him seriously. I always that's why I'm like, when it comes to Sinatra and Bear and Drunken Uncle and stuff like that, they're always just funny. They're always telling jokes. The people that I would left to center that annoy the hell out of me are like the Wrens, Ren Michaelis. I can't.
Oh
remember.
yeah, Ren is fucking dumb.
You're not talking about reading Ren, are you?
No, Rin, R-I-N, Rin Michaelis.
Oh, Rin Michaels, Michaelis, whatever.
Like that's the only that her. Let's see. I'm trying to think of who else. I would even put Tim Pool kind of in this category of like people that have certain ideologies, and you'll question them on it, and they'll be like, "Oh no, I'm centrist." And it's like, well, no, you're not really centrist here, you know.
Well, I mean, it's like when you call. Sorry, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I should.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, you're not really centrist here. Like, Ren will say something incredibly right wing, and you're like, well, that's a bit right wing. Well, no, my
political compass says I'm a centrist.
Well, I mean, it's like when you're sorry, I'm interrupting you again.
No, go ahead.
Like so you know, like if it's a 10 scale on the political compass, so if you're like a freaking 10-10, you're a 10 minus 10, so you're like the top left corner of the scale, and you say, oh no, I'm liberal. So like, nah, motherfucker, you're not liberal. You passed that train, you passed that station several miles ago. You are literally like the very worst version of what conservatives think Hillary is. Like, you are that's where you are. You passed liberal many miles ago.
See, with Rin, I'm fairly sure she is probably fairly close to the center when you take the sum of all her beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, some of her beliefs, I would say she's.
Seem to, I don't know her that well, but you know, I'm sure she's somewhere near the center. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
I've had my back and forths with her. I've had quite a few headbutting. Well, okay. The last time I was on, this had to be like 4 or 5 months ago. Remember when you asked me what I was mad about, Schmeckel, and I kind of said, like, I don't really want to get into it. I don't even know if you remember this one.
I think I was still drinking back then, so probably not.
Well, it was an argument I was having with her and a guy named Modwayne. And the whole argument was like, I said my comment about I get tired of this group of people that call themselves centrist, but almost all of their content is taking a swipe at the left. Like, everything is just leftists do this, leftists do this, leftists do this. But it's like, oh no, I'm a centrist, I attack the right too, but there's like no evidence of it. So we were going back and forth about that, and you just get to a point to where there's certain people who are so insistent on not just being on the left, or not just trying to attack you as a leftist, but are like willing to lie about your points and everything. And I've noticed she is really good for that. She'll take whatever you say completely out of context.
See, and I don't actually know if she's being dishonest there or if she is actually just really, really dumb. Because if you look at how she speaks, even when she's agreeing with someone a lot of the time, she doesn't come across as a very intelligent person. She comes across as somebody who knows a couple big words.
Yeah.
Rin to me comes across as one of those people that's college educated, but not college
educated,
knowledgeable,
but like a community college.
No. Like I actually no, I've known plenty of people that kind of strike me as similar way to how you guys are describing Rin right now, that have like bachelor's degrees, but they're like effectively the non-athletic version of the guy that they interviewed in Schooled. Like
yeah,
the Swahili guy that couldn't say a single word in Swahili, but he took a Swahili course for 3 consecutive years at Duke or something like that. It was Duke or Notre Dame.
Yeah,
college sports are a scam.
She's the type who went to school, but took her classes pass fail.
Yeah, well, I mean, or just cram, regurgitate, forget. Which I hate to say it, but a lot of formal education people do that.
That's where all my schooling went.
Well, yeah, and I don't really want to jump on her intelligence as much as like I guess the whole reason why I was highlighting her is she is part of that group of people that won't I don't think she truly understands that if you don't understand what somebody else is trying to say to you, you shouldn't fill in the blanks with your own ideologies.
Yeah, you get the first couple words of a sentence, the middle's a mystery to you, but you understood the last few. Don't just guess at the rest.
And she's known for that. Oh man, but it's not just her. Tim Pool's also kind of known for that, to where he will, and I think it's just like in the heat of the moment or the fact that he is battling more leftists than he is right wing, but he'll say something to the tune of like, oh, the left is trying to destroy all of us, and then highlight this one part where just a leftist is just disagreeing with him. And it's like, oh, they called me a Nazi. It's like, there isn't even the word Nazi in what the person said. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, because I have a lot of respect for Tim Pool, but unchecked and without someone who he trusts and has rapport with being like giving him constructive criticism, I could see him ending up being the bizarro Cenk Uygur. Because I mean, Cenk wasn't always as bad as he is now. He wasn't, but he, a few years of rampant success and yes men later, and look where he's at.
There's a lot of people like that. Sargon's like that now.
Yeah, oh man, it makes me so mad that Sargon went that way, man. But like, okay, when we first started YouTube, Schmeckel, though, when you and I, when it was just you, me, and Ozzy, Sargon was pretty good in those days. Armored Skeptic was pretty good in those days. But like, just that famous ego, man. Like, because I have a career outside of this, and I don't really ever depend on a dollar coming from entertainment, and I don't necessarily plan on that happening. I hope I don't get famous so I can keep it real in streams like this, No,
I mean, a recent example, look at Tonka, right? He didn't even get famous, but he I heard my own voice for a second, to fuck me up. He got that ego, right? He got too into the idea of whatever and O, right? Tonka couldn't lose. And at some point, he started to act like it was true. Like Tonka couldn't lose.
I mean, the only thing I would say is different about Tonka is that entire group, like everybody that was involved in IBS, and I mean closer to the end. So when it was Tonka, Andy, Failure, they just, something happened that I will still won't know, but they just started going at each other's throats. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm gonna win an argument or something else. Like something pushed Tonka to the fact that he thought everybody was attacking him, and you see how spurgy Andy is now.
Honestly, I think it was the doxing wars that came out of IBS was, in my opinion, the tipping point, so to speak. Like I think it was the doxing, and then even though I wouldn't be surprised if none of the big players were actually the ones making threats at each other. It was their fans doing it.
Oh no! As far as the fight goes, it was definitely
no. I'm not talking about the fight. I'm talking about like after the doxing happened, the death threats.
Oh, okay.
So like, I'ma find you, I'ma hurt you, shit. Because I mean, they were getting their viewers. Because I'm not sure that necessarily these people were even fans of any of these guys. They were there for the shit show. The same reason Jerry Springer's still on the air.
Mm-hmm.
They were there for the shit show. Like those people who are. I mean, I'm not trying to diss on everyone who watches trash TV, but there's a lot of total shitbags that watch trash TV. Not all of y'all, but there are.
But like
there
a good
are
amount of you.
Like
if there are 5 of you watching right now, probably 3 of you.
Well,
yeah,
no,
like,
I wouldn't even say it's a majority, but it was.
It's not a majority, but it's a higher concentration than like your typical average of just out of 100 people. If your survey is just people who watch like IBS or like Jerry Springer, they're gonna have a higher number out of that 100 than if you just grab a random 100 Americans.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say that most of the people were probably just normal everyday watchers, and then there's like probably 20 or 30 who were, you've made me mad, so I'm gonna find out everything about you possible, even if it means crossing that line into your personal everything. I want to destroy you because you've made me mad. And the problem is when it came to Tonka and Andy and all of them, each one of these people would latch on to one of them, and in the name of Tonka, do something messed up to Andy. In the name of Andy, do something messed up to Tonka. And obviously, Andy won't take a second to think before doing anything. And
I mean, but I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I would be surprised if this was necessarily like instructed to these people doing that in the name of them. It's like you ever watch Supernatural?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Suicide Angels, the I'm doing this in the name of Castiel shit? I think it's more like that. Like, I don't think these guys necessarily wanted their viewers and followers to be doing this shit. But at the same time, I'm not sure that they weren't like low-key flattered about it, even though publicly it was like, oh, I didn't endorse that. They were kind of like, damn, man.
No, man.
These guys
I can tell you exactly what it's like when someone tries to pull that shit. You're going, shit, I'm going to get blamed for this. That's
but
the extent of the reaction.
Low key, they might just be like, "Damn, man, I didn't realize people like me enough to get themselves arrested."
Yeah,
that's one of the weird things about these particular groups. So many of them were willing to risk getting arrested. Like even Andy and Tonka themselves, with the original ideas for just a fight in the street. So ready to get arrested.
Are you sure that wasn't just big talk?
Because yeah, you know what? From both of them, it could have been big talk. By the time they're big talking back and forth at each other live on air, they're making it serious. They're making it something that's.
I think Andy. I mean, just based on how everything played out, I think Andy might have been serious. Might have been willing to throw down in the middle of the street.
Yeah, Tonka clearly wasn't showing no matter what.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tonka. Well, I mean, the rest of this they say is history.
I still think that. I think Tonka would have been willing to fight. I just don't think he wanted to fight there. And I will say this is the one thing I will say in defense of Tonka. And again, that whole situation was crazy. But right before, because I'm just saying this from my personal level. If I'm talking crap to somebody and then I find out that they called my mom at her job, oh, we're past coming to some place and fighting. Like, so that's the only situation where I'm like, something happened where it got a lot more serious than just two angry people about to fight. And I mean, we all know who else got involved, and we all know what. I don't want to start mentioning names or nothing because this man is insane. If you know who I'm talking about.
Insane. There are a bunch of them. You already said Andy Worski's name. He
No,
would have been
no.
my first thought there.
No. Let's. I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. Go ahead and drop it in the Hangout chat, just so we can verify it. But
I always forget we have one of those.
If it's who I think you're saying.
Oh yeah.
I don't even want to pay him the lip service, even if it's like I totally hate the guy, but like I just don't want him to get the attention from us, to be honest.
Yep.
Like
that's why I didn't want to say it out loud, because
it's like I'm not even down to give that guy attention.
Yeah, no, that guy's into some shady shit.
Yeah, I mean, and he's the kind of guy that like I wouldn't be surprised if like at some point he ends up paying someone to kill someone. I'm not saying I know that he did. I'm not saying that I believe that he did. I'm just saying I don't think he has the scruples to not do that if he were motivated enough and had the resources to do so.
I don't see him doing something like that, but I definitely see him as the type of guy that will talk a bunch of crap, get you out somewhere. You guys are about to fight, and you start beating him up, and he's got a buddy filming enough of it to get you arrested. I see him doing something like that.
No, I could see him like dropping a hint with the FBI. Like say me and him are going at it online, and we agree we're gonna meet X place, X time. I don't bring no backup. He don't bring no backup. He gives them my description and says I'm an ISIS fighter, and I get black bagged. I can see him pulling that.
I think you're a little pale for an ISIS fighter.
That don't matter. I got a beard, tattoos. I'm a disgruntled American veteran, so I'm already on the watch list. And
just
everyone with Google knows that if you're a veteran, you're on the same watch list as terrorists. Everyone who has Google access knows that shit.
Just make sure you don't shave off that mustache.
Oh, good Lord, no, man. Man, I can't be Abraham douche. It's bad enough I'm Wrath the douche.
But yeah, what I was saying though is I think like once people like the aforementioned got involved, everything started changing. Now I will say he should have known that was going to happen. He should have anticipated that, because obviously that side of the world was part of IBS since the beginning. But I think when he realized how serious a couple of the crazy ones were, I think that kind of made him fall back a bit and start trying to find ways to protect himself too late into the game.
Yeah, I could see something like that. If there were a sufficient reason to believe there was a threat, I would maybe not want to go to a pre-planned place at a pre-planned time.
Now, one guy that like I think really made things a lot worse, even though he wasn't like that character. Medicare, man.
No,
Medicare, the coolest head making things worse. He was the coolest head in there making things worse.
The fucking Christchurch shooter of the internet.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is watch things burn.
Well, I think Medicare fancies himself the Joker, but at the end of the day, if people even remember him, it's gonna be he did Christchurch, but with a microphone instead of a gun.
See, I don't see him as the Joker as much as I see him as like Mixoplixit. To where like he literally just wants chaos, like not even chaos in the sense of like the Joker still has a method to his chaos. Like Mixoplixit just comes in, makes a bunch of jokes. See, no matter who it hurts, doesn't matter. He's not really about the pain though. He's just about his own amusement. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
No,
he's
no, you
an
know what?
extra
Like, he's
dimensional fucking imp. He's got different values than we do.
No.
He's just doing his thing.
no
Mhm.
Medicare. No, you know what? If I were to sum up my opinion of Medicare, honestly, he's like V Vendetta. He's like if Creedy didn't have a boss, and he has a microphone instead of an army of goons. Like that's Medicare in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
The ends justify the means, but the goal is just watch everyone fuck themselves over.
And laugh at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
But you know what? No, he's movie Mandarin. He's like the Iron Man 3 movie version of the Mandarin.
mm,
He's just
I
an
never
asshole.
actually
He's just an
saw it.
asshole that wants people to fight each other. Like he doesn't have a team. He doesn't have a boss. He just likes watching people fight, man.
Well, I
Like-
think
It's like if Jerry Springer was even less likable.
the best way to describe someone like that is the term chaotic neutral.
yeah.
I don't take a side. I just want to see things burn.
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
just chaos. He ain't a bad guy. He just ain't a good guy.
No, he's chaotic neutral, but he's also a sociopath.
I mean,
Also, we got $3 from Joseph Kerwin. He says, "Gay ops ruin everything." Yeah, that's essentially the gist of what happened. With sports. Everything got really, really gay. With a lot. Sorry, I don't mean gay. I mean faggoty. Is that less offensive or more offensive, Wrath?
hopefully more.
I don't know. They taste the same with A1s also. Why do I care?
There we go. But everything got really secretive. There were deals made in private conversations and shit like that. It became very high schooly.
Well, I mean, yeah, and
That's not fair to high schooly, man. Let's be honest.
Yeah, at least
became
people in high school were getting laid.
it
Well,
became like middle school. Like it was literally middle schoolers in adult bodies. Like that's what it turned into.
well, I think all three of them had different ideas in mind. I think Tonka still wanted it to be his thing, his small group battling out with smaller people, and not really. He wanted to be famous, but not like big or anything
He
like that.
wanted to be the big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, I think Andy wanted Sargon versus Spencer every day, all the time, all that money, all the fun, and that wasn't happening. So he kept trying to reinvent himself every 15 seconds, and people were getting annoyed with him reinventing himself all the time.
He just did it again. Now he's all fucking Zen Andy.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
disconcerting
no.
because
Oh,
now he's a
no.
completely
Zen Andy?
different type of crazy.
Oh, dude. Like, okay, we've endured a
Man,
lot of
and now
flavors
he's
of
got
Andy,
like
but
energy
Zen
and
Andy,
shit, man.
dude, Zen Andy just sounds terrifying. Like,
Now
what?
he's got like good energy and he's taking in the vibes, bro.
Oh
Like,
no! Oh no!
yeah,
No, no,
it's
no.
Zen Andy.
Dude,
I'm gonna be
is
honest.
Zen Andy gonna try and get with Barbara for you to see? Because that would be so funny to watch her shoot him down. That would be the best thing in my life.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think something's really wrong with Andy, and I think the people around him,
Exacerbate it and take advantage of it.
none of them are taking a second to go, "Hey, this is serious. We need to stop."
Yeah,
Just like,
hey, our
whoa,
friend
Zandy,
is
you need
great.
to chill. You need to chill, Zen Andy.
Well, no,
Let's
because
take-
he's not going to
At
listen
some
to that.
point, at some point, you have to sit there and you have to realize, okay, this guy's not just like quirky or whatever. There's something's wrong with him.
Because his 0 to 60 is insane.
And every time he does it, he goes self-destructive too.
Dude, his 0 to 60 is so fast. Elon Musk is trying to patent that shit.
I mean, like, you can set your fucking watch by Andy burning bridges. It's a cycle with him. He gets.
See, I
his
tried
due
to do that. It turned into a fan, man.
Mhm.
Like seriously, I think the only person who can burn bridges faster than than Andy is Steve Shives, and literally it's because Steve Shives is smart enough to like build a bot to do it for him. Like Andy just does it with his own words. Like the only reason his efficiency hasn't hit Shive's scale.
I mean,
Well, it's this cycle with Andy. He gets his new thing. He gets his new group. A little while down the road, something sets him off. Like Losar said, he goes from 0 to 60, and then he starts setting fires all fucking over the place until he's all alone and has to wander over to the next island.
well, think how many best friends / worst enemies he's had in the last 2 years. Hell, shorten that, the last 6 months.
Pretty much this side of the internet at this point. Like anyone over 100,000 this side of the internet.
Mm-hmm. It was funny at first, and from the left, granted, I told my jokes and I thought it was funny to watch because I didn't really like him or many of the skeptics he hung out with and stuff like that. But when it started getting to the point of where you're yelling at female MMA fighters that could kill you the moment you saw her, you get to the point to where it's like, okay, something's up, you know?
It's like
I'd yell at Tara, but there'd have to be an understanding beforehand that if I hurt her feelings, it wasn't on purpose, and don't blame me.
Yeah, and that wasn't in any way, shape, or form like, hey, I'm just yelling, please don't take this seriously. Like I've seen that before. I've seen that in people that have severely hurt themselves. It's not funny. It's not cool. I'm not going to sit here and diagnose him online. I don't know the dude. I don't hang out with the dude. But from what I've seen from him, that's not healthy.
Yeah, like, I mean, here's the thing. I'm with you. I don't think we should try to diagnose him. But, like, I know everything before about's bullshit. But if Andy were someone I knew personally, like if he were someone that had my cell phone number and we went to the bar together, like I would be encouraging him to see a mental health professional. Honest to goodness, like to be honest, Schmeckel, if you acted like Worski has the last 6 months, we would probably be trying to get your ass in therapy because you don't have to pay for it, you Canadian bastard.
Yeah, and Andy's Canadian. It would be just as free for him.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I actually straight up, I would be really impressed with him if the Zen thing is part of legitimately trying to better himself. Because I mean, some people do it that way. Some people do, and some people are successful with it that way. So like, if that's what he's doing, like, bravo. It's cringy as hell to imagine him being Zen.
Yeah,
but
it
if
is.
he helps himself. If he helps himself with this, that's fantastic. Because I used to really like his content back when he was just trying to be funny and not really trying to make any score points with anybody.
Yeah, back when he was doing shit with Chris, Andy was a funny guy.
I still think Chris was the real intellectual side of it. I think.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think Andy's just good at being witty. Andy is very witty. But Chris is the one that, like, the technical knowledge and, like, the planning and organization, I think Chris is probably the credit for a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and that's why the content went way downhill after Chris was gone. If you look at the stuff Andy did for his channel with Ian Miles Chong, it was awful.
Dude, yeah. I kind of, like, oh, man.
Part of that is Ian.
I like IMC, but he is...
Ian's... I wouldn't trust Ian further than you could throw him.
That's what I was getting at when I trailed off. That's what I was trying to get at when I trailed off there. It's just I don't.
It's like with the cops.
It's like once a liar, always a liar. Once a greedy journalist, always a greedy journalist, man. Like I don't know. Like
it's all of them. It's this 15-second taste of popularity and probably a little bit more money than anybody probably would have saw at a normal 9-to-5. And they get into this mode of, I need to keep making money. I need to keep holding on to whatever conflict it is. And people were starting to get bored with SJWs, quote unquote SJWs. And so they tried to find what other controversies could they find. They started lashing out at each other.
And
And
that's entirely correct, because that's exactly what I did.
like
The cunt stream at that point started making money after the Zeph shit, and then we started digging into Jeff Holiday.
Why do you think I had to bounce, man? Because I mean, it's like, I think, like, for me, I participated a little bit, but I was kind of like on the edge during when we were going after Jeff Holiday, and I'm not proud of that, like, at all. Yeah, but like, it became a bridge too far because, like, yeah, Jeff got caught up in being involved with some stuff that was stupid, and yeah, Jeff defended some things that his friends did, and even maybe participated. I don't know. I wasn't in that server. That was stupid and that was against things he stood for. But like, we all make mistakes. We all do shit we're not proud of. And like, and for example, like, I'll admit, the way I dissociated from the cunt stream was a shitty bitch ass move. Like, we were going a bad direction, but I made a shitty bitch ass move when I dipped out like that, man. Like, and everyone makes mistakes. We're all human. And I just feel like I'm glad we were no longer on that route, because I wouldn't have been able to come back. I wouldn't have been able to really dialogue with you guys again if it were still on that track, man.
Yeah, see, as far as you leaving, I would have done the same, and I would have called us out for it. No, like, no hard feelings there.
Yeah, I mean, we already smooched, made up, and fucking rotisserie style Jimmy.
Yeah, I got the mouth, then he got the mouth, then we both took the ass. It was a good night.
It was a very good night. The only bad thing was I did not put new fresh batteries in the camera. So I'm sorry to our viewers. I'm very sorry. We do not have a Pornhub link for that.
Don't worry, I've got every room in Jimmy's house wired up. We got like 6 different angles.
Wait, what? Wait, what? What did I just come back to?
Probably the worst moment in SnatchCast or Cunt Stream history for you.
New guy. I can trust you. New guy, I can trust you. I can't trust these cunts.
Wait a minute. A Canadian trusts a black man? We just made history.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. We apparently let our trust into like 2 billion people or whatever, or million people from a foreign country. We're very trustworthy here.
No. I was making fun of Canada, not black people, man.
Oh, wow.
You fucking snow cone motherfuckers.
We're Canadians. We're not all that smart. Look who we elected as prime minister.
Well, I mean, I don't expect much from an entire nation of human snow cones.
Oh, fair enough. We lack the brain power in that regard.
Well, yeah, it's hard to put a central nervous system in an ice cube.
But as far as the Jeff Holiday shit went, with the whole server thing, there was no proof that Jeff was ever involved in anything there, right?
Right.
The big thing with him was
in the group, and he was in the inner circle. Like,
no, he was in that Discord server, but so were a lot of people.
Yeah.
The big thing with Jeff was that he had attempted to call Coach Red Pill by his real name.
That's right. That was the big thing and we were critical about that, and that was a bonehead move.
Well, everything shifted. It started with, and I don't know all of it, but it's when I first heard about it, it started with a bunch of people were doxxed. They doxed the entire alt-right in this server.
Yeah.
And then they're going through, and then it was like, oh, well, okay, there's not that many people, but it was Aiden and Jeff and somebody, or Aiden and CRP and somebody else. And then they started finding out, well, maybe not it's that. And then it just was like, oh, well, we just hate Kraut and all of them. And when Jeff and Kraut stopped giving them, I don't know how much you guys were part of this one too, but when Jeff and Kraut stopped giving them material, they started doing the same thing to each other. Like it's crazy how bad it's gotten. They're calling each other parents and families, and they're putting each other's entire lives out on streams. They're trying to call themselves trying to catch pedophiles, and they end up posting up like it's weird. It's
Yeah,
weird.
as far as calling up people's families and shit, if you ever hate somebody on the internet that much, you need to spend some time off the internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You need a break. You're too invested.
Well, I mean, it's like that's the point where you've gone full angry MGTOW. Like
that was a fun stream.
That, oh my goodness. And Jeff lit him up like Christmas. It was one of the most beautiful moments that on our show, man.
Which, by the way, is proof that Jeff Holiday did blood sports before Tonka ever did.
Yeah, but Jeff Holiday did it right. Like, he ripped the guy apart and then dropped it.
Like, yeah, after that, there wasn't a couple weeks more of Jeff versus Angry MGTOW. It was just, Angry MGTOW, you lost.
Yeah, it's like you lost, you came. I mean, some might argue you fought. I don't really think you even you might have tried to, but you didn't even really get a swing off, man. And it's not even that Jeff was laying you out before you started swinging. Is you telegraphed a punch that didn't connect, and Jeff leveled your ass.
Yeah, but it's if you're ever at that level, seriously, take a break. You should not be that invested in the internet.
Yeah, seriously, take a Snickers break.
Even if it's your fucking income, unless somebody's threatening that income, yeah, you shouldn't be that fucking concerned.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's just
did we ever get the Tanga sponsorship? Because I got a new idea.
Well, we never got the Tanga sponsorship.
All right. New sponsor goal. Okay, take a Kit Kat break, y'all. That's right. Hook us up.
There we go. Fucking hate Kit Kat bars, and there goes the sponsorship. Anyway,
fine. Snap to a Slim Jim.
I gotta get a new coffee. I'll be right back. Losar, you're in charge.
Oh, all right.
Losar. What's your Twitter shit, my dude?
It's Losar1 Dialogue Always. At Dialogue Always. I think it's what it's called. Yeah.
Got it, brother. The reason I ask is I am actually gonna make like Tony Hawk and skate. I got some karaoke to do, people's favorite songs to ruin. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's funny as it sounds. Right before he said he was gonna go get a drink, I was just about to sign off myself. I got
shit!
4 in the morning.
All right. So on the count of 3, we give Schmeckle abandonment issues.
Oh no, I'll wait for him. This is my first day. I ain't gonna do that.
Oh, come on. That's how we know. That's how you know you fit in. Is you gotta be at least as mean to Schmeckle as I am. That's the secret. See, the only way to get booted for doing that is if you have a squeaky voice or your Yobi X's. Anyway, it was great meeting you, man. Hoping I'll probably catch you on more shows. I take it.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Sorry I talked over you a little bit. My stream etiquette's a little rusty.
No, it's my fault too. I've been so long since I did these type of conversations.
Yeah, knock that shit off. You're being too nice. You're not gonna fit in here if you're too nice. Unless you can draw like a motherfucker, because that's how we kept Jimmy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Besides, you're my other American, man. We got to stick together. We got to stick together. Have our guns and our expensive health care and our bitches. That's all we got. That's all we got on Canada is guns, expensive health care, bitches.
Well, you can't say expensive healthcare. I can say expensive healthcare.
Nah, man, I got the unceremonious boot, man. You want VA benefits I have? I'm allowed in the VA building. That's it. Yeah, another time I'll update you. I'll give you the whole short version of the story and shit. Basically, I wasn't a great sailor the last year I was in, so they invited me to leave. All right. Oh, he's coming back. I gotta run. See ya.
See you later.
Right, take care, man.
Yeah, I got it.
He was a terrible seaman.
I got to drop off myself because I got to be up at 4 in the morning tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Work is not my friend. So tell Schmeckle I said thank you. I can't wait to do this again, and tell him to get well. Okay.
I will do my best. All right.
Catch you later.
Take care, man. Bye. Well, folks, you are unfortunately left with just me. Just me to entertain you, to soothe you, to make sure that the air is not dead with nothingness and the void. And that's not a good thing, because I'm nothing but void in a lot of ways. Void in my heart. Oh, thank God he's here. Hey, Schmeckle.
What's up?
Apparently it's just you and me now. Raph and the new guy just left.
All right.
So, want to send the link out to a bunch of other people?
Yeah. Bring a couple people in. We'll get some opinions on this. What were we talking about before I walked away?
I don't know, because I just came back. So we're fucked in a lot of different ways.
I'm pretty sure we were we were on the topic of crazy people in the blood sports scene.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. It's most of them. It's you know, as far as the people that were running the shit, most of them are fucked up in their own way. You know, Andy is blatantly nuts. Ralph's an alcoholic. Fucking Tonka. There's the massive ego thing. They were all fucked. You know, Medicare is probably a sociopath of some sort. It was never something that was going to work out with first off with the whole concept and the way it was built up, and second with the personalities that were involved.
Mm-hmm. It's weird how there's this fan base that gets built up, and then over time they just sort of they just become losers and weirdos. So it's like I was a bit of a fan of Kraut for a while there, and then shit happened with him, and I'm like, nah, this guy's crazy. I used to actually like The Amazing Atheist, and then after a while I'm like, nah, you're just a crazy leftist in a lot of ways.
I wouldn't necessarily say TJ's crazy. He's definitely a little further to the left than I'd like. He has a lot of beliefs that are a little out there.
Right. So I just sending a link out to a couple random people.
All right. I hope you picked good people this time. Sometimes you bring in just terrible, awful guests. It's I think how we met a lot of the co-hosts we've gone through, but also how we met a lot less quality people, Jimmy. Yeah, you've done us wrong a couple times.
Yeah, a few times, sure. I just sort of send it out to some people. I don't know. If they stay, okay, great. If not, then we just close early.
1 second. We got a Streamlabs here.
Okay.
$3 from Joseph Kerwin, and of course it chooses now to fucking reset.
Oh, really? Fuck. It's no good.
It's every time I go to fucking load the thing. Holiday said there were no doxes. Then the screenshot of Jeff joining a channel where Kraut had just said, I got CRP's docs came out. That's when the crowd went against him. Okay, I did not remember that. I'm assuming that's in the same Discord server. So, do we have proof that Jeff knew about the doxes, or?
I don't know.
It would depend on the timing there, right? If I join a Discord channel, I don't scroll through the history of it, right? If it had been posted a significant amount of time before Jeff joined, there's a good chance he wouldn't have known about it. On the other hand, if Jeff joined first, then that's problematic.
Yeah, probably would be.
Yeah, it's something to look into, I guess. I can just ask him. Okay, Lionel says Jeff admitted it when he apologized. Okay, I do remember that. Yes, in his apology, he terrible apology. I got no issue with Jeff now, but bad apology. In his apology, he did mention that he had lied to everyone. So yeah, I guess there was some legitimate reason to go after Jeff. I remember I backed out of it because we were, at least in my mind, going too far. We, all I remember being mad about was first the server, then I had thought that was his involvement in it had been disproven. The thing I remember was with CRP. And that ended up being mitigated by a couple factors. For one, Jeff didn't actually say CRP's real name. He fucked it up. For another, CRP had attached his real name to his CRP name. And I think those were the only mitigating factors, actually. It was still a bitch move on Jeff's part. Like, there was no doubt what the intent was there, right? He was trying to intimidate the guy because he was losing an argument. But he didn't dox anybody.
No, but it sounded like he could have if he wanted to.
No, I mean, it'd be very hard to dox Coach Red Pill, seeing as he was the one who had connected the two names himself. At the end of the videos, he had a link to some business that he owned under his real name. The two were very much connected. It's not like his name was a secret at the time that Jeff tried to use it. Joseph Kerwin says, failing at intimidating with a real name is not morally superior to intimidating with a real name. No, it's not. Like I said, it was still a bitch move on his part. But he didn't dox anybody. The important piece there is that CRP had put his own name out there. Yeah, it would be like if Jimmy started getting mad that I call him Jimmy. Then he shouldn't have made his name fucking James backwards. Except at least Jimmy there would have been taking some steps to cover it, whereas CRP blatantly connected the two names.
I still get people messaging me realizing what Semaj means.
I don't get how people don't see it right away.
Some minds just don't think that way.
I also don't get how you managed to spell your own name out backwards when you can't spell most words.
With a lot of work.
He just spelt it forward, hitting the back key. Joseph Kerwin says, remember Holiday's Rickroll apology. Yeah, that was
a dick move.
And not only a dick move, it was a bad idea. When everybody's pissed at you like that, you can only pull that off if you're a certain type of person. Like, someone like Milo could have probably pulled that off when he was popular. Jeff Holiday was not going to be able to pull that off at that point. That whole, you know what, fuck you, here's your apology, suck it. It was the wrong attitude for the situation.
Yeah, it was a very cringy thing to do, and it didn't work in his favor. I mean, nobody liked it. I think it was like majorly disliked. So, like in the comments there,
in the actual ratings, yeah, it didn't go over well, and I don't know how he thought it was gonna. Joseph Kerwin says the Rickroll apology would have worked if Holiday had been above reproach. Well, yeah, but if you're above reproach, what the fuck are you apologizing for, right?
Mm-hmm. And it just didn't work out, and I don't think he's ever recovered from that.
No, we get a lot of bad apologies in these circles, because a lot of these people, and it's part of being a YouTuber, being a content creator, putting all your shit out there for people to see. A lot of these people are very, very egotistical, very proud rather. It's very, very hard for them to admit they've done wrong. That's why a lot of these apologies either come across like Jeff's, which really came across as him playing the victim, or like Tonka's, where it comes across as, yeah, I'm sorry, you guys are wrong. People in these circles fucking suck at apologies. Me and you, we could manage it. We came from a country that values manners. The types of Americans we run with, they can't do it.
Probably not. Do you think that maybe the mentality we have on the internet of like never apologize could be a factor? I mean, we always say never apologize to like an SJW.
No, if you have that concept, that idea in your head that you shouldn't apologize when you know that you're wrong, there's something missing there. There's something you're not managing to connect. You're looking at how people react to people that are honest with their apologies, and you're not getting that it always works out better for them. Like, I mean, with some exceptions, right? You come out and apologize for killing somebody or molesting kids, nobody gives a fuck. But if you come out, exactly. But you come out and apologize about some minor shit, some internet shit, people are gonna maybe not respect you for it, but they're certainly gonna disrespect you less than if you sit there and carry on with, no, fuck it, I wasn't wrong.
I think if you legitimately did something wrong, I guess apologize for it. I mean, that just makes sense. But if someone's like accusing you of being sexist because you say things about women on streams, I could see, like, don't bother apologizing for that.
Oh yeah, never apologize if you didn't do anything wrong, unless it's convenient. But as far as when you have done something wrong, that should be your first fucking move. That's your best move at that point. I said not terrible people. How you doing, Rad?
Not bad. I can't
Oh,
complain.
fuck, my speaker's fucking up again. I'll be right back.
Who would listen?
Yeah, certainly not our audience.
You have an audience?
I'm not actually sure. Hangout stopped showing the number, so I can only tell when the chat's moving.
Oh, okay.
For all I know, they could all be gone.
Well, is it broadcasting on your channel?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see the chat. It's still moving. We still have at least Joseph.
Oh, okay.
We were talking a little bit about apologies and why people in these circles suck at them. You got any insight there?
Our circle? When you say these circle, which circle you mean?
These circles, let's say the skeptics and anti-SJWs crowd from a couple years ago, the blood sports crowd, the type of people that me and you both mutually interact with.
Okay. Well, I would say there are probably two reasons why, if we do suck at apologies, why that is. If we've been in the community for a while, one of the things that yeah, we can hear you. One of the things that you're going to get conditioned to real damn fast, even if whether it happens to you or watching other people do it, is that apologies to certain types of people, particularly the sort of people that we tend to bump heads against ideologically, an apology is simply an admission of guilt. It gets you. It does you no good at all. There is no level of groveling that will make them happy. And unfortunately, it's difficult for us to sometimes remember, I think, that not everyone does that to you. Sometimes people will take an apology on face value, or even given how rare and terrible we are at it, that they might even take it when earnestly meant, with some gratitude, sort of. But that's one thing. And the other is that I think I've mentioned this before. Anybody, myself included, by the way, so when I say what I'm about to say, I'm talking about me too. Anybody that does this kind of thing as a hobby or for a living, God forbid, has to have a certain amount of ego, because you have to have some self-possession, believe that anybody wants to hear your shit. And that level of ego makes it difficult to deliver a mea culpa. It's one of those, I think it's part and parcel with being self-possessed enough and full of yourself enough. Again, just to make sure everyone understands, I'm including myself in that apologies become difficult, especially after a while. If you're big enough that you've got sort of a following that will sort of lick your ass no matter what you do, at that point, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're going to become an asshole. It's hard not to. I mean, one of the things I dreaded, and for good or ill, it never happened to me, but I never became popular enough to where I had to worry about my ego taking charge of my good sense. I'm as human as anyone else. I have every reason to think that I would have the same problem. I would like to think that I could fight that, but I'm not. It takes, again, I'm just as flawed as anyone else. So I think it's a combination of the people we're often asked to apologize by, who will simply take it as an admission of guilt. And then on the flip side, we're in a business, so to speak, where you have to be kind of a at least slightly over the top, full of yourself dickhead to even do it. And that makes apologies damned hard. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and see, I was saying something similar before you hopped in. What I don't understand, though, is that, I can getting that ego and it being hard to admit that you're wrong.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how these people who have successfully been able to build up an image and stuff like that don't realize that sitting there and doubling down when you're wrong is going to destroy that image, not help it.
It's probably because the image reinforces. I mean, it's like, how can it's kind of like, how can I be wrong? All these people agree with me. Well, as we all know, that doesn't mean shit, because excuse me, you can attract a bunch of like-minded people, and they can also be wrong too. That's the trouble you run into, and checking yourself against that is really difficult. It's hard to keep around someone who will call you on your shit, because after a while they get really irritated. I used to have a friend who we fell out of touch just because he had family stuff and all that. But one of the things I could always rely on him to do was to call me on my shit. Sometimes I think he went way overboard. I mean, literally one time just to see what he would do, I once just kind of stared out at the window and said, sorry, this guy is blue, and without missing a beat. Well, it's blue because of this. Yada yada. He wanted to explain like I didn't fucking know. So, he's one of those sort of people. But when I was wrong, he was the first person not only to call me on the carpet, but roll out the fucker so I'd be ready. So it was useful to have him around because I never got too full of myself. But on the other hand, he was really annoying. So, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I can see the not liking being correct and stuff like that, right? Not liking being called out when you've done something questionable. Mm-hmm. I can't see the logic in sitting there with the fucking spotlight on you, trying to pretend you're not there, right?
Yeah. I think it's self-reinforcing a bit when you come to the realization that everybody thinks that your shit you've got enough people that think your shit doesn't stink. You kind of buy into it,
Yeah, I could see that. I have a pretty easy way of avoiding that. I think everybody that's watching us is a moron, and I don't respect you. So no matter how much you like me, your opinion ain't gonna boost my ego because you're scum.
But we do like the donations. Thank you so much.
Yeah, except for Joseph Kerwin. He's a good guy.
Joseph Kerwin's amazing. I love you. And we'll love everyone else too here. But you know what you need to do. Right?
We'll love you long time.
Do what your gods demand, and I won't get an ego.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy, you can hear everyone again.
Finally, for a while there, Hangouts wouldn't let me come back in. I was scared.
Yeah, it's been fucky on your end tonight.
I think I have a few ideas to what's going on, so I just have to update some things.
Okay, awesome. Well, talk with Red for a second. I gotta piss.
I mean, he's cut back on the drinking, but he still has to go to the bathroom every now and then.
Well, did his liver finally cry uncle?
No, him and his wife separated. It turns out that was the reason he was drinking.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know.
Oh, on the plus side, I mean, he's taking better care of himself now.
Well, that's good. That's good.
He lost a lot of excess weight, started working out, took better care of himself, stopped drinking. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, do me a favor. Could you drop the watch link in the side chat?
Sure thing.
Thank you. Fuck, I don't even know. I mean, I think it's fame of any kind goes to people's heads. I mean, you can see the petty tyrant in the office or even on the schoolyard. It's just, I think it's human nature when you get to be, you get at least even one yes man can make someone suddenly be a lot less tolerant of dissenting opinions. And
I think that a lot of what we do, because we're as human beings, we're social animals.
Yeah.
We need a lot of our what gets us going through the day is social currency. With people saying nice things about us and or giving us stuff to help us grow, just because that's the way we function. You apply that, and you actually have yes men. That can be detrimental, but sometimes, I mean, we all like to have someone that always agrees with us.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's I continue to think that it's hard to be overly humble and do even at the smallest level something like this, because I mean, the me that I see that I am on Sunday Funday isn't terribly different from the me in real life, but it's different enough. I would not normally, except when DMing an RPG, would I try and corral that many, assholes in one sitting, and certainly not that many at the gaming table. More than 6 is enough. I mean, that's just any more than that, that's too much. But I think it's a hazard of being. It's like, why are politicians all self-important assholes? Well, it's because they kind of have to be. I keep going back to a fantasy novel series that I read many, many years ago, where somebody non-wizard remarked, "Why are all the wizards such ginormous assholes and so full of themselves?" And somebody said, "Well, imagine for a moment your job is trying to make reality bend to your will. You have to have a certain amount of chutzpah to do that." And in the more real world, trying to change the world and believing that you've got the chops to even get started, you have to be kind of arrogant. And I don't know. That's just, and it may be a self-feeding cycle, but there may be more to it, where if you spend a lot of time slinging your opinion, because I've been confronted by people who ask me, "Well, how is it you're so sure of your opinion? Why are you never wrong?" I said, "No, I wouldn't hold this opinion if I wasn't really sure it was the right one. What would be the point?" The problem is of course, I look at that logic and then go, "Well, if I hold an opinion, I must have thought it through." Not correct. I can guarantee you, just like anyone else, I've come to opinions for emotional reasons and try to justify them. I try to catch myself doing it, but I know I do it because that's what people do,
And yeah, it's human, it's natural, but it's something you need to keep an eye on, keep yourself in check, right? Over the course of a couple of years, if a lot of your beliefs haven't changed, you're either a genius or a moron, right? Either you were already right about most things, or else you're a fucking moron who's unwilling to learn anything.
Or in some cases you were coddled, and people kept saying, "Oh, you're good, you're great." And I think that's the problem with a lot of millennials
Okay,
right now.
so your parents made you a moron.
Yeah,
You're a moron with extra steps.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I look at a lot of millennials right now, and they seem to be that way. Everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
gets
a contributing factor. I think. Well, some people said you learn more from failure than you do from success, and I think not literally, but I think that there's an emotional truth to that, because if you don't, I hate to say, I mean, there was somebody who joked that what we need is more bullies, and I hate to say they might be right. Getting your ass beat once in a while might build some character, or at least some empathy. Because
it's not even just that. You need your flaws pointed out, or else you don't work on your flaws.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to be bullied about your flaws, but you need somebody who's gonna remind you that they exist.
Yeah, someone who can go up to you and go, "Jesus, you're a fat fucker. You done anything about that lately?"
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
can't tell you
no, they don't have to kick your ass over it, but
Oh, I can't tell you how.
It sounds mean, but some of those fat fucks don't realize they're fat fucks.
I can't tell you how badly I want to say that to so many fat people's face. I see them walking by. I just want to call them out on it. Like, why are you so fat?
Well, that's why I'm glad you don't come around my neighborhood. Oh wait, no, sorry. But no, I mean, it's one of those things. Even as a fat person, because I'm not skinny.
But to be fair, like,
it'll be like, Jesus Christ, lay off the cheeseburger once in a while. Holy shit, motherfucker, you make me feel thin.
Well, to be fair, when it comes to like age, your metabolism goes down, so it's to be expected that there'll be some weight gain as you get older. That I can live with, because that just makes biological sense. But if you're a young person, like in your 20s, and you're really obese, like I saw a young person just the other day, and she was huge, and I thought, like, you obviously look like you're young.
Yeah.
Why are you this big? That's not healthy.
No. And that's the healthy at any size bullshit. It's like you're setting these people up for a lifetime of suffering and failure, and there's no sense in it. It's and I even try to give some distant family members some advice. I said, it's like, because he's overweight, and I'm like, dude, you need to work out. I said, even if you never get thin, having some muscle under that, trust me, because when you get my age, you're going to wish you were fitter at some point, because that's the only thing saving my fat ass is that when I was a young man, I worked, shipping and receiving. I picked up, hundreds of pounds every day. I worked out as part of my job. That's not the same as having an exercise routine, but it made a difference. Now, I'm not falling apart the same as other guys my age and my size.
It's one of those things. Like, they can be comfortable in their body now, or they can be, living comfortably inside that body in the future. If they don't do something about their weight, odds are it's not going to be both.
Yeah, because the future you is going to have a much harder time getting fit than current you. And that's under any circumstance, even at my age. Current me is I have a much better time getting fit than Red Robot in even 10 years, much less 20. Because I'm not that far from 50 right now. So
one of my favorite scenes from a modern day cartoon was a show called Bravest Warriors, where apparently one of the main characters' future self met up with him. And the current self is like, "Whoa, what happened to you?" It's like, "Well, I didn't take a vitamin B12 when I was at your age. Would you like a vitamin B12?" and towards the end of the episode, he did take it, and his future self was looking out through the windows like, "Oh God, I got my hair back! I got my hair back!"
And so we got Nicole Volteo in the chat. She says, "I'm overweight due to the medications I'm on, or I'm and have been on since the age of 4. but I'm trying to lose that weight. I don't agree with the fat acceptance movement.
Yeah.
See, there's no. I have nothing against fat people. You know, I hate Red for different reasons, and I love Jimmy.
Yeah, because I sing like a trash can, and
that's why I hate him. I know. No, it was the fucking characters.
Oh, yeah,
I hated the characters. But I don't hate fat people. It's just it's dumb to sit there and act like fat isn't unhealthy. Just to stroke those people's egos, right?
It's retarded. It's like treating anyone else with any condition that's bad for them in the long run, as though it's all okay, it's fine.
Well, it's like Losar was saying earlier about Andy Worski and his mental health. You know, one of his buddies should be saying to him, "Hey, dude, I think you got a problem. Maybe you should seek help." Yeah. The same goes for your fat friends. You know, you don't got to be a dick about it, but you know, maybe tell them, dude, that's not good. You're gonna have a heart attack or something. Yeah. You're gonna fall over one day and realize that your frame is too not strong enough to hold up your body. You're gonna snap a shin. You're gonna destroy your knees that way.
And if it's a dude, it's like, look, if you can't see your dick anymore, it's time to hit the gym. You know?
Exactly. You should always be able to see that. Wait, can you guys see your dicks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. You guys are larger fellows.
Yeah, I'm aware. I can still see my dick. Only when I'm really happy to see someone, but that's beside the point. So I can't see it right now. But when the wife walks in with her shirt off, then yeah, pretty much.
It pops out when it's needed.
Well, I'm a grower, not a shower. Basically, you know, when I'm not in the mood, it may as well be 40 degrees below outside. I'm one of those people. It's retractable.
That's quite a thing to admit live on air.
Hey, that's the other thing I will say that's one of the other benefits of getting older, and the thing that I would also give the almost countervailing advice to about being happy is one of the things that I figured out far too late in life for my taste. Somewhere in my 30s, except for when I was getting good advice about dumb shit I was doing, and I learned to tell the difference. Apart from that, I really don't give a shit what other people think of me anymore. You know, I don't do stupid stuff like genuinely like wearing dirty clothes and not being tidy and other just self-destructive stuff. But as far as like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of fat, but you know, I still try to work out to keep fit under it. And, you know, I make all kinds of other mistakes, but most of them are genuine. As long as I'm not actually fucking things up. If people don't think that I'm couth enough, or I don't speak correct English anymore, or I admit that my wiener is kind of not there unless I'm happy to see a lady, that's fine. I really don't care. Not caring what other people think to that extent, just the casual disdain of people that you'll never know or care about, is incredibly freeing. And I think that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. As I get older, the less I worry about what other people think. It's great. It's stress relieving. Because as a teenager, I worried about all kinds of shit, what other people thought, how I looked, how I talked, how I walked, and all kinds of other crap, just trying not to be a complete goober and failing, of course. But now, fuck him. I don't care. A car alarm goes off in the parking lot, and I'll dance to it to make my wife cringe.
To be fair, I mean, when you're a teenager going through that kind of stuff, you're trying to set up relationships for the rest of your life, being friendships and romantic ones and all that kind of stuff. So you want to make a good impression. That makes a lot of sense. That's when alcohol kicks in.
That's
who cares?
Yeah, and then but it's just less stressing about it. I think if I went back to give advice to my younger self, especially in high school, I would be like, don't stress so much about what these people think. In 2 or 3 years, you will never see them again in your life.
Probably because you embarrass yourself.
Think.
I mean, see, in high school, I don't remember caring a lot what most people thought. Most of my social attention was focused on my dick and putting it in things. So, you know, there's some amount you got to work if you have goals like that.
I had that same goal, but I was just terrible at it. I should have told myself, just give up. And that girl over there, when she kind of starts paying attention, just let her go, because she's fucking nuts. On that one too.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to go back and just be like, yeah, remember that one's crazy, that one's crazy, that one's crazy. Wear a glove, little buddy.
Yeah, it's like that one thinks she can talk to God. that one has no sense of social proportion, and that one is just going to tease you the entire time.
Man, girls like that were the fucking worst.
Hmm.
Because the worst thing was you couldn't just go, okay, you're just gonna tease me, get the fuck out of here then, because you still wanted to sleep with her friend.
It's like, look, if you don't want none, that's fine. Just say so.
Yeah, tell me up front. Why can't we be honest with each other?
Exactly.
If you want to just be friends, let's just be friends.
Yeah, and that's fine. That reminds me of something I'd seen. It was a academic agent was talking about this on Twitter, and I'm just like, there are some people that insist that men and women cannot be platonic friends, and every time I think, in hindsight, every time I think about that, it's like every guy is imagining all the hot chicks he knows, and he's like, yeah, that's gonna be difficult. Think of all the fugly chicks you know.
Yeah, that's exactly
easy
it.
to be friends with them.
Ugly girls exist for friendship.
But really, it's even with the attractive ones. Look, you're not compatible with all the women you know, so stop worrying about it so much.
Well, it wasn't my goal back then to be compatible with them. Inside's more the word you're looking for.
Well, maybe I was traumatized by high school because the chicks I was compatible with in all that way were fucking crazy, which might say more about me than it may have done about them.
When I was in high school, I dated 2 different girls whose mothers were hookers.
Oh, wow.
And 2 different girls who are now in porn.
Oh, wow. Anybody I know?
That probably says something about me.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, all 4 were fucking batshit too. All crazy in different ways. All definitely fucking nuts.
Were any of their fathers in their lives?
It's unlikely.
Two of them. One of the porn ones and one of the hooker ones.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit.
It's a 50-50 ratio. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I thought for sure you'd be like, I thought for sure you were going to say like, the father wasn't around for any of them.
No, the father with the who had knocked up a hooker. It was funny because he was this. He had to have been like 5'2", 5'3". His daughter was 4'11". He was this tiny little man. The hooker, think your average fucking stereotypical tranny hooker.
Oh, wow.
Except obviously biologically female because she pumped out a kid and all that. Just a giant fucking lady.
Oh, wow.
Dude definitely had some type of fetish or something. There's no other reason you picked that hooker.
Yeah, other than, the pussy was on sale. I don't know. Hey, I'm not.
Yeah, maybe she was offering a discount. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I've never paid for it, but and I'm gonna be honest with you right here again, admitting everything, because I've never lived in a state where it was legal. Because it's on my bucket list to at least try it once, but I'm not serious enough about it to travel for the privilege. So
yeah, it seems like kind of a sad thing to book a trip around.
Yeah, I never wanted to try it that bad,
Yeah, see, I wouldn't do it for a couple of reasons. Obviously, there's the health concerns and all that. Mainly, I wouldn't do it because it's not that hard to go get just some slut.
Yeah, it's more about saying that's an experience I've had. It's not about the sex really. I mean, hell, actually, for the health issues, you're right. What I do is just rent somebody for a hand job, and so technically I've had a prostitute, and I don't risk much unless she's got open sores on her hand. Then I'm saying no. But you know what I'm saying? It's one of those about just the thing because like one of the things on my bucket list, as straight as I am, is I've kissed a dude. It was on a dare, but fuck it, the girls did it. So what? Me and the other dude had to nut up. As weird as that sounds, we kind of had to put up or shut up. So
you had to nut up with a little good old fashioned faggotry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it's on my bucket list. Well, okay, I've kissed a dude once, fine. Now, mind you, for the record, nothing further than that is on my bucket list. But I'm not that interested in expanding my purity score down into the rabbit hole. It's for the same reason I don't do drugs.
If it was, you could have knocked it off at the same time as the hooker.
That's a good point.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, write that on the list, Red.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right. You got to be a bottom, right?
I get. Well, I don't know. See that I hadn't thought about it that hard because, pardon the pun, but because I figure when I get really really old, if my wife passes before I do, at that point I no longer care, and I'm just going to do all the dangerous shit that I shouldn't do because by that point I'll probably be because I got 8 years on her. So if I've somehow outlived her, that means I'm really fucking old, and at that point I got nothing to lose. All the dangerous shit that I shouldn't do, fuck it.
Yeah, see, I got Linus, my secretary. He'll do it for $200. Linus, you want to make $100, buddy? He'll answer in a little bit. It's all hooked up, Red. You just booked that flight. He's in one of your states down there. I don't actually know where Linus is from.
It's like somebody said like a scratch and sniff scavenger hunt. Jesus Christ, no. But this is from the old internet. But you guys you've heard of the purity test, right? No,
it sounds familiar, but
basically you just go down a list of things that you've done, and the lower your score, the more perverted or even just vaguely sexual things you've done. I literally we did this at a birthday party once with everybody took the test. There was one chick there who got a score of 99% pure because she hadn't done shit, which was a crying shame because she was cute too, but she was such an introvert. She had barely even kissed anyone. It's like fuck.
I guarantee it didn't last.
Well, I hope not, because hopefully she found someone nice who gives her the whole 9 yards. But
she'd be almost 50 now. I hope she's got someone.
Oh no, she was a lot younger than me at the time. Let's see here. She would be early 30s now.
We got 2 Streamlabs here from Joseph Kerwin. One for $3. It says, we need some sort of post-IBS internet persona audit. Who is still alive? Who got maimed? Who got promoted? I'll run it by the cringy yesteryear guys, the Comos. Maybe we'll do a cringy yesteryear IBS edition.
If one's still alive.
Yeah, if he makes it out of surgery. Apparently there were some complications.
Ooh.
And then another $5 from Joseph Kerwin. He says, Schmeckle, as the stream host, can you marry Lionel and the Gunt in disgusting matrimony? Hashtag Gunnel wedding. I'm not sure. Not sure who the Gunt is, but
I think he means
your man and fucking male wife or boy wife, I guess. However you gays do it.
I think he's calling Gedunt a man.
I don't know. She could be. You never know with Brockus. He's got some strange tastes.
Well, he did discover he was bisexual, so I mean, who knows?
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's also into trannies. All right, Linus apparently is not happy with his new marriage. Linus, for like $50, I can hook you up with a divorce.
For $200, you can hook him up with a couple of guys named Mickey and Finn. Will take care of it.
Yeah, $200, you never hear from him again. It's dealt with. Apparently, the Gunt is Ralph's stomach. Linus, I didn't know, buddy. I wasn't trying to force you into that. Divorces ain't free though, so $50. Yeah. Fuck. What were we talking about? I got off track for a second.
Well, yeah, just a little bit, but that's okay. I think that's pretty par for the course.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
We originally were supposed to be talking about the Christchurch shooting, and then we just sort of deviated from there.
Oh, we were?
We did. We haven't asked Red about that yet. He came in a long time after we've already deviated from that. How much do you blame PewDiePie for this, Red?
About
Short rope or long rope?
About as much as I blame him for the T-Series. None. He had nothing to do with it.
Personally, I think he only cooked up T-Series. He's outsourcing, hiring some nice Indian fellows. Just to bump up his ratings. He knows as they go up, people try and it's all a plot, man. New Coke type shit.
As far as I'm concerned, like T-Series is probably going to win the whole stream or not stream thing, the whole like number of people.
After the fucking Christchurch shooting, that is one thing I see definitely coming out of this. T-Series is gonna overtake PewDiePie. There are gonna be enough people that are thinking along the same lines as the people that are blaming PewDiePie that are gonna completely unfollow him off Twitter or off YouTube. Everything he's gonna.
To be fair, the people that would blame PewDiePie for Christchurch didn't follow him anyway, because at this he lost them back with the whole Nazi joke, okay, and the N-word joke. Okay, at that point, he'd already lost those motherfuckers.
Yeah, but you know, he dropped some the first time. He dropped more the second. This is definitely a bit of a, even though he didn't actually do anything, this is definitely a jump in the extremity, right?
Yeah, but the difference is that he had nothing to do with it, but the people that would blame him, I think, are already gone. But yeah, you never know, because you know, Pewds is what he is. I mean, he wasn't going to be the top of the internet forever. That's just, you know,
it had to happen at some point.
Yeah,
at some point.
And it's nice to see a bunch of weirdos from India do it.
Well, I don't like that T-Series is the one to do it. Not because they're Indian, but because it's a corporate account.
Oh no, it's a terrible channel. I will say this:
watch them.
Here's my prediction, because India recently, the only reason T-Series is as popular as it is because the Indian population just got full access to the internet. I mean, and they're subscribing to T-Series just because, and India has a huge amount of people because they have a population explosion over there. They've had so many kids, it's ridiculous.
A lot of fucking going on.
There's a lot of fucking going on over there. And eventually, like, they're going to be on the internet. They're going to eventually see other content, and then they're going to be something else, and someone else will become number one. T-Series will not stay number one for long. They might stay long. If I had to make a prediction, 1 to 2 years most is how long it's going to take. Although being on the internet, it could change overnight. There could be, like, PewDiePie could just skyrocket in popularity. Imagine if the Indian population, large amounts of them, are introduced to PewDiePie and like him.
Yeah,
he'll fucking dominate the internet.
Yeah, that would kind of suddenly, yeah.
This could change at any moment.
Well, yeah, if it is due to an influx of people from India, then that means there's not all that much overlap between the two, right?
Well, if you just look at the content on T-Series, because it's all corporate kind of stuff, it's not very entertaining videos. They're boring. They're very boring. And that's why I'm saying, like, once they see the other content that's out there, it's not going to be there for long.
Yeah, that's a good point. People are going to go elsewhere. And, you know, there are big names that are already out there. PewDiePie could shoot back up again. Somebody else already up there could overtake him.
Huh?
Yeah, you know what, PewDiePie...
Shoot up again.
You know what? He's some Swede or something like that. They do crazy things sometimes.
Good point.
Sometimes. But yeah, no. T-Series is if they win, I mean, it's going to be a short-lived win. There'll be someone else. I guarantee it. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I could see that. Especially if they are pumping out garbage content, right?
Well, yeah.
It's just bothersome that the guy who's been on the top for so long, an individual creator who's not only worked to get himself to the place that he is, but also gone through all these controversies successfully and continued to maintain that spot, is being taken out by some corporate company that's their corporate account that's relatively new, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
especially when you consider the way YouTube is sometimes, let's say, a little dishonest with their algorithms.
Yeah.
Well, it's sometimes it's not that they're dishonest so much as they just don't inform you. I mean, it'd be really nice if they just told us when they make changes instead of just doing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems on like a basic level that for companies like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, having their rules clearly defined, having the way things work clearly defined would make things easier on them. Then you get into the fact that they all have their political biases, and you run into the fact that they can't put the rules right out there, or they can't abuse them.
Exactly. Holy hell! Speaking of YouTube, I just looked up their last YouTube Rewind video.
Yeah.
Currently, it's at 15 million dislikes. That's still pretty high. Also, I distinctly remember disliking it myself, and oh, look at that! It says I didn't vote. I'm just gonna re-hit that dislike button. So, just because.
Just because.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched any of the YouTube rewinds. It does seem kind of dumb that they put one out with without their biggest creators, without their biggest creator.
Yeah, it's really weird. And I think YouTube, especially since Google bought it, wants a certain image, and they don't have it because they can't literally dictate what people watch. I watched just recently an episode of Tales from the Internet from Justin Wang's channel, which I highly recommend, by the way, but about a song that inadvertently got picked up by the algorithm and recommended to almost everyone. And there was more story to it than that, but just it was an illustration of how fucking weird, random, and mysterious the algorithm is. And we know they fuck with it because they've been caught doing it before, like, trying to drive positive info about various topics. And it seems to me like a completely antithetical to the way this sort of thing is supposed to work. But on the flip side, I keep going, where it's one of those where I understand, because if they can't get advertisers to stick to the channel, they can't pay the bills. I mean, YouTube doesn't make any money at this point. As far as I know, it's not actually in the black significantly, even now. So who fucking knows, man?
Oh yeah, I understand having to cater to advertisers, but you don't do that with broad strokes. You do that by getting rid of the problems that the advertisers have identified, not creating your own problems and applying a solution with a broad stroke across the board.
Personally, I think that the advertisers were just looking for an excuse to pull out. I don't actually think that they really care. And the reason why I say that is because anyone can turn on ads on their videos and get some money. That's kind of ridiculous. If you're an advertiser and you're paying for all these people, and anyone can start an account and get like a handful of views. Just talk about the trendy topics of the day, and you'll get a good couple hundred views. And you have to pay for each and every one of these people. It's a very expensive thing, and there's probably no guarantee you're going to get any money back from any of that.
Well, the size of the channel doesn't matter so much if there are people actually viewing the ads. Somebody watching an ad on Pewdiepie's channel is just as likely to purchase something because of that ad as somebody watching here or somebody watching on a brand new channel, right?
All I'm saying is, like, let's say, like, you have the United States, which has, like, it's a couple thousand channels or 100 channels, whatever, on television. You're paying for ads onto there. Same thing in Canada. It's only a couple thousand. We look at something like on YouTube, on the amount of users and multiple channels that they all have. That's millions upon millions, and you're paying for each and every one of them. It's not monetizably feasible to actually put ads on YouTube. And that's why I think they were looking for an excuse just to do it. That's when the adpocalypse kind of happened, because you couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I could definitely see them deciding this has become too expensive for not enough gain. We're pulling out. But fucking PewDiePie's the reason.
Yeah, and all the content from PewDiePie, those are old videos. I mean, it was monetizable then. It's not now because we have all these articles coming out. So there again, good excuse.
Yeah, I could see something like that. That doesn't excuse YouTube for the way that they responded to the advertisers pulling out.
Yeah, I think YouTube was themselves shocked by it. I don't think they knew how to deal with it either.
I don't think the top brass at YouTube knows how to deal with a whole lot. To be honest, they've learned to code, but not much else. And actually, based on how YouTube works lately, maybe they didn't learn to code so well. It seems like the lunatics are running the fucking madhouse. It does not seem like a well put together, smoothly operated operation, I guess.
Yeah.
It seems like they plopped somebody in charge who didn't know what the fuck she was doing, and she ran with it. And then she's still running with it.
Yeah. I don't know if things will ever get better. How much were you making when we were still able to run ads back in the day?
No, as far as ads, we were making nothing. We came in after the adpocalypse. The amount you made on ads had already dropped way down. We were making, I think, maybe $10-20 a month through ads. Most of our money came through super chats.
Right, that made sense. And the only way we'll ever get those again is if we brought our subs back up to 1,000 something.
No, we won't get it back. You still have to go through the review process. We start all our streams with Ooga fucking Ooga cunts.
Okay.
We ain't making it through the review process, Jimmy.
We gotta be advertiser friendly.
Yeah, the first time around we were grandfathered in. When we started the channel, you could get monetization without a review. With this channel, we came in after that rule, so we're gonna need to get reviewed before we're gonna get super chats.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So, Streamlabs
is.
Streamlabs.
Exactly.
Are we Cut Stream or the SnatchCast on Streamlabs?
SnatchCast.
SnatchCast.
Streamlabs.snatchcast.com. Donate today.
Gotta snatch them all.
Yeah, drop us some fucking money. Well, if there's one thing we're fond of, it's your money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What's that, Jimmy?
No, I was just gonna say it's probably better that way, anyways. Because super chats, I mean, like, doesn't YouTube take 30% of those?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's 30-40. I believe if it's over a certain amount, they take a bigger cut. Streamlabs takes 0. Absolutely nothing.
See, and that makes it a lot better. So, definitely.
Yeah, I think whoever's donating pays a couple cents as a fee on their end, but the creator gets the whole amount that you donate.
Okay. All right, that's good. I like that a lot better than what we got going here. So, out of curiosity, can you only donate when there's a stream going, or can you donate whenever?
Streamlabs, I believe you can donate anytime. I'm not actually sure.
So if a bunch of people donate at like the middle of the night, you'd have to read those all out in the morning or whenever you stream again.
Yeah. If a bunch were to appear when we were off air, if that's possible, we'd have to read them out next time.
Okay, so if someone was to have like just donate Streamlabs and it's just two people having a conversation, you have to read out the whole conversation.
If somebody wants to spend their money doing that, I will read out the whole conversation. Opinionated Gulf City Scotsman says Streamlabs is anytime. So
Okay.
that's good to know, Con. So I'll spam the link out more often on Twitter.
There you go.
Anyway, I figure we can probably shut down at this point.
Sounds good to me.
Jimmy, Red, any final thoughts?
Well, I'm still waiting for some more details on the whole Christchurch shooting. I mean, we talked about it in Sunday Funday last week, of course, because it's kind of hard to avoid it. But there's certain details that I want to know more about, but we might have some difficulties because New Zealand is trying to keep a lid on it, and they've gone full ban hammer happy on anyone trying to even discuss it much. So, because the thing I'm interested in is the other details that aren't the focus of the dude with the manifesto, but the other one. But
yeah, apparently there were 4 people involved, and all we've really heard about.
Who are these other 3 fucks? You know, that's that kind. And what were they doing?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard a lot about Tarrant, not a whole lot about anybody else involved.
And,
it could also be that we got distracted by Egg Boy.
Oh,
no,
yeah, that was.
Yeah, you know, Egg Boy was. Everybody in that situation was dumb.
Yeah, I mean, but I can understand why the dude slapped him one. And literally, the people like, oh, it's a punch. No, you look at the camera from the other angle. He just slapped him a couple of times. That's not
I'm sorry. You sneak up behind me, hit me in the head with anything, I'm probably going to turn around and swing at you.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you know, and I'm probably not going
afraid.
to wait to look and see if you're some little fucking teenager, right?
And we said he punched him, but I didn't realize he actually slapped him. So I guess we're correcting ourselves on that one. He got slapped twice, which is the appropriate.
There's a shot from someone who had a camera behind Egg Boy, and you just see this guy just reach out with this bitch slap, and he just before the guy gets grabbed and brought to the ground, he gets him one more time. So yeah, he just got a good solid slap with a big ass hand.
I keep liking this guy more and more. He's doing the fatherly thing and just slap the crap out of you because you're being stupid in front of all these people. Which unfortunately, negative reinforcement. Look at this GoFundMe for this kid. Look how much money they raised him for this boy who assaulted someone. Why are we rewarding this kind of behavior? This is not okay.
Well, it's possible. Well, we don't. I hate to say it, but it's a GoFundMe, and I don't know about you, but I'm always suspicious when a GoFundMe pops up around a topic because there are people that this may have no connection to Egg Boy at all. It
could be. I don't know how that's going out there. But
also,
I mean, like when I think about this, like we have a kid who literally assaulted a politician, and then there was that. Sorry, we're going on again, Schmeckle. But then there was that other kid who did the who was wearing the mega hat, and that Native American guy was beating his drum in front of him. I mean, kid gets doxxed and essentially gets his entire life ruined. And what did he do? He just smiled at a guy, and he had a drum beat in his face.
Yeah, but he smiled at a Native American.
Last time I checked, that's not a bad thing.
Jimmy, you don't understand. The natives are a very solemn, serious people. By smiling, he was offending them with his show of joy.
Motherfucker, I am Métis. That means I'm half native. This is bullshit.
No, you got to be half a depressive fuck all the time.
You're as white as I am, you fat bastard.
Yes, I'm pretty white. I'm pretty out there. I am actually half native.
Yeah, so. I tease Marking about this as well because he brings that up every once in a while, and I tease him how he's basically a pasty motherfucker. It's more that you guys are Canadian than anything else.
Yeah, we don't get a whole lot of sunlight out here.
Yeah, we get sunlight 2 months out of the year. I mean, what do you expect?
If you saw Jimmy's beard, you'd believe he's native.
Hey, I've actually come out with a surprisingly good beard, despite because one of the benefits of being old is that I've gotten hairier on the chin, so I can actually complete a beard now. Yeah.
It sucks because when I'm an old man, I want a nice long wizard's beard, and I'm never gonna grow it because my genetics won't let it happen.
Hey, I'm working on one now. God damn it! We're off the air. I'll show you.
Jimmy will be in his 60s, 70s with just a scraggly white neck beard.
Yeah. Yeah. I better be fat then to justify it.
It's like, yeah, you're not wrong.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this the fuck up. Everybody tune in. Actually, we don't have anything tomorrow. Cringy ESG is canceled tomorrow. Maybe I'll do something.
And Sunday. Join us on Sunday Fun Day at the Ass Crack of Dawn for you internet nerds. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Red Robots channel.
The bitching witch says, well, I mean, Tonka has a beard and he's injured. Tonka had a little fucking scraggly hairs on his chin. Tonka didn't have a fucking beard. He had enough to prove he wasn't a woman.
Oh, hey, the beard of I respect the womanhood of the lady at the circus, man.
Anyway, maybe we'll be back tomorrow. Fuck out of here. We're done.